bit. And let's put the background music on. Oh, there we go. Yo, it is Femencio. How are you doing? Hope you all... Oh, there we go. Yo, it is Femencio. How are you all doing? Hope you're doing great with your morning, afternoon, evening, or night. It's time for another drawing stream. I'm going to be finishing drawing Towa from the last few days. I'm going to try doing the line art and coloring. But yeah, for the Twitch side of things, I do try to do a random karaoke in the beginning to give YouTube a little bit of time to catch up, and I can hit the go live button there so that I am too lazy to make a, what do you call it, learning student screen. And since I'm like, I want to practice karaoke and practice singing karaoke on stream or otherwise, and the best way to do it is just to force myself into it. It is what is it called? Not shock therapy, or I guess slightly shock therapy of just like forcing myself right into it so that I'm like getting used to it slow and steadily just by actually doing the thing, instead of like maybe one day I'll do it. I'm like, I'll just do it. If it comes out good, it comes out good. If it comes out bad, it's bad. But yeah, another thing is, after I ended the stream last night, I realized I kept cutting in and out with the audio because I guess I kept talking a little bit too quietly. So I was like, ah, shit. I did not like how the shading was at the end of the stream. And then when I rewatched the stream, I was like, oh, fuck. The audio was clipping in and out whenever I was speaking because I had the settings a wee bit off, so that if I got too quiet, it would just cut me off. So when I was watching through it, I'm like, how did you listen to me? Just like cutting in and out as I was speaking or otherwise. I'm like, oh, that is horrible audio. I really gotta learn to just like do a quick minute or two recording before the stream to figure out the audio settings and to make sure everything works out nicely, or else it's gonna be very, very, very tight. So that is something I will have to get better at for when I do hit the go live button or otherwise. But yeah, I will be continuing doing Towa-sama, and everything else. So far, my day's been good. Well, it's not much to my day. I woke up at like 11, but I didn't roll out of bed until like 1 a.m. PM. So I was just being a lazy arse. And then I was just chilling, doing nothing but watching random YouTube clips. And then I have to... I have to go clean up my basement and otherwise later on tonight or early tomorrow morning, since there's supposed to be new I'm supposed to get a new installation of what do you call it, Wi-Fi, some sort of fiber optic Wi-Fi installed. So I'm going to have to start cleaning up the basement again, and it's going to be bright and early at 8 a.m. So that's always going to be fun. Just as soon as I wake up, I have to watch people install new internet for myself. I don't know if it's a little bit too how do you say it? A little bit too nitpicky if I just like stand behind them and watch them the whole time. I also don't want to just awkwardly stand behind them and just monitor their whole, setting up or having to install the cables and wires, because I think they're probably gonna have to go in and out of the house for like connecting the cable from the pole to the house and then drilling the hole into the basement and then running the wire through the basement to the actual modem. So if anything, I'll just do the casual thing of maybe offering them water bottles. I don't have water bottles at the house. Great, I can't offer them anything. Maybe just a glass of water if they need. Yeah, hopefully I can just deal with that easily. And then just chill in the kitchen. If they have any questions, should be good. I don't know. Is the proper etiquette whenever someone's like doing technician or repair work around the house. If it's like okay to just stand there or sit there and monitor them. I know you shouldn't really just like hover over their shoulder, because that's also very awkward. I don't think anyone would like it if you're just hovering over their shoulder when they are working. I would say just keep a distance and then just be there if they have any questions. But besides that, I don't need to like monitor their like every single movement. But yeah, I don't know. I'll just figure that out. Let me just start drawing. I'm gonna be trying to do the line art and finishing the coloring for this though. Hopefully that comes out nicely. I was thinking of calling it finished with this. Oh, finished with this yesterday, but I do want to at least how do you do this? Always on top. Okay, there we go. Always on top. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I always want to try and do the best I can for the drawings, but I was thinking like, oh, maybe I could call it quits with Towa from yesterday, but I'm like, you know what? It's already to the point where I can just finish it up with a decent amount of line art and coloring. So I'm just gonna try to finish up whatever I can and see how far I get through this. I think I have a method now to do the transparency of the sleeves, because before I was wondering how I would get that down, or how I would make that look a bit more clearer or nicer. But I think it's the same way that I did like the little transparency for the eyes over here. It's just I have to use a screen. What is that? A screen screen multiplier or a screen effect on the layer so that I can get the nice transparency look. Let me test that out real quickly. The only problem is, where is that color actually located? It's, yeah, right here. Okay, there we go. So if I turn this to normal, and then I can do potentially lock transparency layers so I don't color outside of it. Let's see what happens if I just try to make this actually like a screen. Okay, so turn this pink. Probably gonna have to turn this hot pink, but I should at least try and see what happens. If I try to do the transparency here, I'll play around with colors a little bit before I actually start doing the line art, and then move on from there, slow and steadily. Let's see. Okay. Good. Yeah, line art is always a little bit tricky when you're starting off with the line art. Well, if you have a decent sketch, then you don't really need to worry too much about the line art layer. But for me, I prefer doing line art. I like the line art phase of a lot of drawings. I know some people don't like the line art, or they just like to do like the full painterly style of just painting, color, shading, and rendering. Almost like what I did with the skin. Because if there's one thing that I do like shading the most, it is the skin of the character. Because it's what adds a wee bit more depth and otherwise. And then my way of shading it is a wee bit more, how do I say it, like rendered? It's a wee bit more softer versus like regular anime drawings where it's a bit more cel shaded. It has a more solid shift between the shadows and the skin, and there's a clear line of distinction. But I like to make that edge a bit more, what do you call it? I like to make that edge a bit more softer and more airy. So yeah, I will have to see what I do for that. But yeah, I also do want to try to get used to adding just a little bit of, what do you call it? Just a little bit more cel shading styles into the drawings, and using, it's not cross-hatching, it's whatever is the screen tones, I believe it's called, with the little tiny dots to act as like shadows or stuff. Because I do like the looks of that, but I just don't know how to apply it to the drawing, nor do I think I have any settings or filters to easily do screen tones. I think I'll have to learn how to do screen tones off stream, probably tomorrow, in my free time. But yeah, I'll have to see what happens as it goes on. Let me see what happens if I do try turning this into a screen layer, the arm sleeves. That did not work out exactly how I wanted it to. Okay, never mind. In what way do you make that look like a actual transparent thing there, like the white haziness? Do I have to like maybe lock it and maybe use like hot pink? So that's what I did for the eyes, but I don't know if the same method applies. Yeah, the same method applies to that. Okay. Same method slightly applies to it, so I could do Control-C, Control-V. Turn this layer slightly white-ish. This layer could be like smoky white, I think. Not fully white but smoky white. Let's turn this from screen to normal. Turn the screen layer off. What the heck? Closing. I had my eraser tool on, that's why. I wasn't coloring it, I was just erasing the whole thing. Man, dingus. Okay, there we go. Now we could try. What happens if I turn this fully white, or otherwise? There we go. Okay. Now let's see if I turn this to screen. That should do. Then it shows, but again, it's not exactly the full thing I want it to be. Yeah, so the transparency layer of that changes a little bit depending on the background. Okay. So what happens if I turn it to a little bit more of a hot pink and I just try to add like some shadows here and there through it? Like, let's say I darken some stuff here and there, like that, and just have some little sleeves pointing that way. Then like little stripes. How do you do maybe something like that? Then I could probably make that a little bit more airy and blur it, just to make it more softer. And then let's see, the blur tool, as I just try to make this just a little bit more softer around the edges here. Let's make this a little bit larger. We should be good from there. Okay. There we go. Nice. Not gonna be, not gonna be the best, but, or let's just, I forgot, I had that on the same layer, so I can't just fully erase it. Got consequences, I do have to adjust things here and there. Okay. Let's see what happens if I do this here, turn this a little blurry, turn this blurry. I hope this adds the tiny distinction between transparency-ish layer. If not, I'm gonna have to find out a different way to do this. I did not look up a tutorial on how to do this properly, when I probably should have, so it would have been a lot easier on me, but trial and error. All I need to do. Let's see, now turn this into screen. Ah, yes, perfect. It does absolutely nothing for me. Okay, I guess something like that. Yeah, no. Maybe if I turn the shadows on different layers. But it's a lot easier, like, as it shows on that little screen thing to make it, maybe if it was on different base color. What happens if I turn the base color to maybe blue? Turn this into like a very white, light bluish color. I guess that works. But I also want this to be normal. And then that is gonna be like a screen here. Okay, so yeah, it does show a little bit there if it's on normal. Oh, that's the wrong color. So yeah, it does show a little bit, but it's also not exactly how I would have liked it to be. Okay. What happens if I do actually leave this to normal and just turn the transparency down? I guess I could use ink and then turn the transparency down quite a lot to give like the transparent look. But if I maybe multiply it, just have the multiply screen, and then I have this one as a screen maybe. Let's see, or maybe color dodge. Probably not color dodge, glow dodge, no. Soft light. And turn this blue into like a very light white. That can work. And then maybe hard light. Vivid light. Sure. And then let's just set the transparency of that down a little bit. And then we have a somewhat transparent layer on the sleeves. It's not really as distinguished as it should be. I guess it's a mixture of the shadows using there, and then I could use highlights for like light and glow to make the transparent sleeve pop out a wee bit more. So yeah, that's gonna have to be something I'm gonna mess around with later. For now though, let's actually start doing the line art before I spend another, like what, 5, 10, 20 minutes just messing around with that one color setting, not actually doing the main thing I wanted to do. So let's try, I think, just a little dark black there. Problem is, what do I want to start off with? Let's create a new folder quickly, toss everything in there. Let's call this line art, and let me just start labeling everything because I tend to make a shite ton of layers. This folder line, change the color of the folder to, let's say, purple, and call this layer eyes. You want to have the eyes its own different separate layer. So yeah, let's just do her eyes first. Okay. Oh, and there's that one random dot. Okay. Gotta be careful, I don't do that too often. Let's see. I don't think 10 is a good thickness to do. Probably like 5 or 6 would be a decent thickness to start off with. Her eyes are also a bit more rhomboid. Oh, actually, this is also a good time for me to hit the File button and time-lapse button. So just have a time-lapse of this at the very least, for at least myself to see what is going on. I also want to import this to a... Nah, I'm just going to leave it on this layer. Let's see, where is the time-lapse button? It's in the file. And it should be time-lapse. There it is. For time-lapse... Where'd the button go? Is it behind there? Or is it already recording? Oh, it's already recording. Okay. Wait, is it? Yeah, it's already recording. Okay, we're good. We're good. Nice. Okay. Now I can do that. I can have a little bit of peace of mind. I continue. I don't know. Her eyes aren't too sharp when it comes to here, but you'd still want like a little bit of the rounded edge here, like a little curved in and then curved out for both ways of it. Something like that. Something like that should do. And then I also do want to have these eye lashes be a separate layer so that I can change the color if I want. I don't know if I'm going to change the eyes to its own layer too. Like when I actually do the eyes or the pupils, have its own separate layer or otherwise. Let's make this just a little bit more rounder. And then just have this a little bit more pointy. We'd have a few little strands of eyelashes coming off here. This one would be, let's make this a little bit more jagged like that. I think 2 should do, maybe like a tiny one right there. And then continue with the eye down here. This one should be a very thin line. Doesn't need to be too thick. Have very tiny little slashes down here for the bottom eyelashes. It's not going to be the most even thing. I probably should have decreased the size of the pen or the brush when I was doing that, but I'll just work on properly utilizing the what do you call it, pen pressure. I don't know why I'm zooming out when I could just look at the left to see what it looks like zoomed out. That should, yeah, that does a pretty decent job at it for the eye. Let's work on the other eye now. Yeah, it'll look a wee better as I do both. Let's see. I also zoom in a wee bit too much, but it's all the same. It's all the same in the end. Doesn't matter if you zoom in too much or keep it all the way zoomed out. I know like some people don't like to keep it zoomed in, or it's like decent advice to like not zoom in as much as I do. so you can see the overall stuff. But I think that's like mainly good for when you're doing the base sketch of everything, or you're trying to figure out where everything's supposed to go or how you do want to draw it. Then once you want to do like the nitty-gritty details like this, then it's all right to start zooming in and getting like very close to the drawing, as long as you don't spend too long undoing the same thing over and over again, or like the tiny eyelashes or otherwise, or like trying to fill in all of this to make it nice and solid as I go and do it. Okay, yeah, that should be good. Let's see, bring that there. Let's decrease the pen size of 4, and then do this. Pull this in. There we go. It's a little bit weird because this one is like curving down. This one's curving up. Okay, I have to fix that. So it curves and what did I do? The same direction. Oh, the eraser tool was way too big. Oopsies. So yeah, let's make this a little bit smaller. And we should be good. Nice. Yeah, the eyelashes aren't that bad. I'll continue doing something like that for the eyelash. That's the upper eyelash here, and just a tiny little flick. Flick it in or flick it out, either or, and it works. That should do for the eyes. Okay, yeah. Decent enough for the eyes. Now I could do the rest of the facial features, being the eyebrows and the eyelid, upper eyelid. Yeah. Any other weird things that's needed to be done for the eyes or the face? It's good, that's connected. The pupils can come later. I'm gonna call this one pupils. Actually, let's just do the pupils now. I'm just creating too many layers. I don't know if it's better to do like a single layer for all the line arts or multiple layers. Well, again, it all comes down to your own personal preferences. But for me, I tend to end up with like, how many layers? Around like 50? No, way more than 50 layers. It's these tiny things over here of what I'm talking about, of the different layers of the pieces of the art, and I sometimes end up with one too many of them, as I just make little different layers for everything. But it is useful to learn how to use multiple layers, at least for my purposes, since I do want to try getting better at character designing and then cutting things up for making my own VTuber model, to draw my own VTuber model and then cut it up and then rig it, because that will require me to actually use like 100+ different layers. So it's basically like stacking 100 sheets of paper together and then holding it up to the light just to see the whatever comes through on each sheet of paper. This is the best way to describe layers when it comes to art. Having like multiple different layers is like having like very thin notebook paper or printer paper, and then drawing like a few lines on each sheet of paper, putting them together, and then holding them up to like a very bright light to see the drawing that comes through. So I do tend to end up with a lot of layers, and I do need to get used to using a lot of layers, since when you do make your own VTuber model for like drawing, that is, if you want to do like live 2D, which is the most typical way of doing animated VTuber models, you do need to separate like the character or the art into hundreds of layers. The eyes will get its own layers. Even the line art and colors would have its own layers sometimes, depending on how you want to style it. The line art will get its own layer, the colors will get its own layer, the shadows will get its own layers, and then like the different body parts will get its own layers. Like the eyes could probably be split up into like 5 to 10 different layers, being like for the eyeball itself, the pupils, the highlights, the shadows, and then Yeah, the highlight, shadows, pupils, and then any other weird little shadows, knickknacks you want to put on it. Let's see, I feel like this is a little bit too thick, so I could just decrease the size here. Like that. Maybe, yeah, that can work. And then here, I don't think I want the eyes to be like too thick. I could thin it out here, so it's not too bad, but yeah. When it comes to character designing and otherwise, it is a little bit more of a hassle and forces your brain to think a little bit more, or use like a lot of different references. You do want to try and do your own character design, then you just have to like go through the design process multiple times over and over again, which is very tricky. I haven't fully designed a character in a year, so I do have to mess around with that. I do have some ideas I want to do for the VTuber model, but I also just don't have a solid idea of like the outfit I want to use for him. Because like the current outfit I have is just a random thrown together outfit, or it's not thrown together, it's just a default outfit I found on Vroid Studio for like 3D models, since it's very easy to pick up and use Vroid Studios, I believe I used for this, to make a quick 3D model that you could just use for streaming or VR chat or otherwise. So I do also want to learn a little bit more when it comes to 3D modeling, so I can edit the outfits of the character and not use like the default outfit that I have right now. Like, I feel like this outfit is like more of a Prince Charming outfit that I have, but I don't really want to use that. I'd probably try to do like a more of an adventurer outfit or knight. Not a knight outfit, probably just more casual clothing mixed with a little bit of a fantasy aesthetic. Or one of the other ideas I had was using like Mirim type of outfits, which is like the Chinese wuxia or other types of outfit. Since I did used to read a lot of Mirim novels or otherwise. But I don't really read light novels anymore, because those things go up like so many chapters nowadays. Like, I remember reading one Mirim novel that had like 1,000 chapters or so, and back then it's like, oh, it's more reasonable, since I was just like finding things to kill time with back in high school while I'm waiting for classes or during like study hall or otherwise. But then now I'm like, ugh, reading 1,000 chapters of a light novel is so much work. It's too much to read. Let's see. Yeah, that's decent for the eyes. Okay. Let's continue with the other facial features. I also don't know if I want to utilize a full nose like that, or if I just want to do a tiny little, yeah, something like that, or just have tiny little notch there for the nose. But I think I do prefer having like the upper and the lower part of the nose, since you don't need to be like fully accurate or like showcase the full nose to show the nose. You could also just use a single line and have some shadows to represent the nose, as like Towa does on her actual model. There's also like some people that like to do the nostril, but I do not like doing the nostril because that just looks weird. Or having like the flared out portion. Also, again, I don't like that because that also looks weird depending on your style and how you do it. It doesn't really make sense to have the nostril like that. So it also looks very phallic if you do it that way. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. Something like that should do though for the line art. I still do not like pupils here. That feels either too thin or too thick or too heavy. Again, if you zoom out, it's not that bad, but when you just zoom in and just focus on it, it always gets a little buggy. But again, that's just me full focusing on one thing instead of looking at the overall photo. Which again, is what helps when you just zoom out a little bit here and there. Let's see. Do a few tiny raises here. And then, yeah. So little corners of the mouth. And that should be good. Yeah, that's decent enough for the facial features. If I take that away, yeah, that's pretty good. That's solid. Okay. I don't think there's any other weird facial features for Towa. I don't think she has any moles on the face that I need to take care of, because I know some characters usually have like a mole under the eye, or under the chin, or next to the nose. But I don't think Towa does have any of those, so I don't need to worry too much about random moles on the character. Or it's either moles or like tiny little birthmarks that usually shows up on characters just to break the symmetry of the drawing. Because when you have something like that's too symmetrical in the drawing, it starts looking a little bit uncanny or looks a little bit off, which is why sometimes they toss in that one mole on the face, on the chest, the shoulders, or the hips, just for fun, and to break up the symmetry of things and just have a focal points to look at for the drawing. Which is something I also have to keep in mind when it comes to doing all of this. And now the tedious part is the hair. Let's get the base of the hair down. I'll have to add a little bit of... No, I don't need to add too much texture when it comes to the hair back here. It could just be a solid single line, and that could be explained a little bit more through coloring. I also do want to add her wings to her, which I forgot to add on this, so I will have to add that on. The wings stay the same color no matter which outfit it is. It's more of a pearly white, light bluish for her wings, so it's not something I need to worry too much about. For a second I thought this ribbon and pearl goes on her head, but it does not. Not something I need to worry about, because that is more so for her banner for whatever stream this was screenshotted from. Let's see. What's up, Sam? How are you doing? I am back. Welcome, welcome. How have you been? It's been, how long has it been since my last, like, actual stream? Like, actual stream that you showed up to, it's, what, 4 months ago? 4 or 5 months ago? You're melting. Is it just really hot where you are? It is. Oh, I spilled water all over my table. Gosh damn it. Let's see. It is, how hot is it in my room right now? Oh, it's only 76. Okay, it's not that bad. It's also nighttime for me. I don't know what time it is for you, Sam. I forget if you're one of the EU viewers or you. Oh, you are EU Celsius. Man, 1:30 a.m. Brother, why are you still awake? Holy heck, man. How much is Celsius in American units? Why is my why is my tab not working? Celsius to F, too hot to sleep. Yeah, that makes sense. 33 is 91 degrees? How the hell is your room 91 degrees? Holy shit. Okay. I would say get some fans, but fans is just gonna be blowing some hot air. Ice cubes, but that's just gonna melt way too fast. England? Yeah. Because England. And then you guys have like brick houses or something, I forget. And it's all just like very solid, while America just have the thin paper like plywood walls. Or otherwise. Let's see. Insulated brick houses. Ooh, yes. Perfect for the winter. Horrible for the summer and fall. How cold do the winters get over there? Is it justifiable to have like the insulated brick houses for the winter? I would assume it would be. If you do have all of that, it would be a nice toasty winter. And then you wouldn't really need to worry about like being too cold during then. I don't know. 0C, maybe -5 at coldest. That's gonna be 33 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe. Yeah, it's 32. So yeah, 0 degrees Celsius is 32 Fahrenheit. Then that also means it's like near freezing levels then. So yeah, it makes sense to have that much. It's also humid here, so the cold temp gets through the wall. Oh yeah, the humidity does deal some extra aerobic damage or environmental damage. Yeah, the humidity really does suck when it's hot. I know my room's humidity is like 52. I keep checking my thermostat and humidity little thingy sitting on the desk behind me. I did buy like a dehumidifier for my room to try to take away some of the humidity of the room, bring it back down to like maybe 40 humidity. But at most, the shitty dehumidifier that I have can only take like 5 degrees of humidity off to turn it from like 52 to probably like 48. So it's not that bad. But then again, I don't know if it's due to just the regular the room regulating itself throughout the day, or if the dehumidifier is actually working. I hope it was working. I saw some water collect in it, but it's like I also don't know what normal humidity is for like rooms. I did look it up a little bit, and it's like around 30 to maybe 60 humidity is decent. I think 60 is up there for like nearing the max, but I think you'd mainly want to keep it between possibly 35 to 55 humidity for your room, like the low around 35 to 40. Yeah, I believe 60 is on the higher end. I think you do want to try to keep it under like 55 to 50, since I think 60 and higher will probably allow mold to grow in your room, and I don't think anyone wants mold in their room. Or it'll be like a better environment for like bugs or stuff to just chill out and hang, which is also not the best thing to have in your room. So yeah, always good to be wary about that. But yeah, I did try to decrease the humidity of my room just purely for that, but I don't know if the dehumidifier is good enough, nor do I know if my air yeah, no one wants to add the spiders. Yeah, yeah, I would say spiders aren't that bad, but I'm checking the corners of my room before saying that, and I don't think I saw any, or I see any. I remember vacuuming my room the other day, and then later that day when I finished vacuuming and I sat on my desk and I vacuumed like all the edges under my desk too, and then when I just dropped something and I went to go pick it up, I saw a spider has already made its nest at the very edge under my desk, and I'm like, I just vacuumed there. I just cleaned that up. How are you there? Why are you there? Where did you come from? Like, how did you get here? I just finished vacuuming and cleaning the room and moving everything. So where did you spawn from? Did you come through the window? Did you come through a crack? It's like, it wanted in. Yeah, it wanted in and it got in, and I'm like, no. Well, I didn't do anything to it and it's gone now. I have no clue where it went. I don't know if I accidentally kicked it as I was like sitting down, or I accidentally crushed it with my foot, but it's not there anymore. So that's always fun to know that a spider that was like about the size of a fingernail just somehow disappeared. I hope it just lived its life to its fullest and is now gone, but you know, out of sight, out of mind. Yeah, at least it's small. I haven't seen any like big things. I did see something scurrying on my desk that looked like a cricket or a grasshopper, but I don't know what it was, and I don't know where it went or if I was seeing things. But it went from under my drawing tablet to under my iPad as I was playing Holodori, the new Hololive rhythm game. It hit my tablet and then ran back underneath, and I'm like, what the heck was that? Because I didn't get a full glimpse of it. I just saw a brown body and some legs, and it just crawled from tablet to tablet and then crawled back under, and I'm like, okay, I'm not touching my desk for the rest of the night. And then I just went to bed and I'm like, hope it left somewhere. I hope it went somewhere else. And if it was a cricket or a grasshopper, I'm also very confused on how the hell it got into my room, because I am on the second floor, so unless it jumped through all of the stairs and jumped all the way to the end of the hallway to my room, I don't know how. It also might be because birds do perch themselves on the very edge of my window, so I don't know if it got in through the window. But I'm also like Where the heck did it go? Where is it now? I hope it's gone. I hope I don't see it. But yeah, it did probably come through the window. So I'm just baffled, and that makes me want to just... Yeah, the door is like too long of a path, and then I'm pretty sure it came through the window, which means the window is no longer secure, which means winter is coming soon anyways. So I can just get the little plastic wrap you wrap the windows with to try and keep out bugs. Is one way I try to do it. I did it for a while, and then I took it down because it got too hot and I had to open the window. But I might just start plastic wrapping the window again to keep like the temperature nice and cool. A net. I have a screen net on my windows. So, but then again, the screen net hasn't been replaced in however long I've been alive. So I probably will have to either check the net to see if there's holes in the net or otherwise, because I do know out of the two windows I have, they're like, I think 6 feet wide, and like, how tall is that? 6 feet wide by I think 3 to 4 feet, and then it's split into two different windows, the left and right side. The left side, I think there's a hole somewhere in the net, because every once in a while I could see a wasp just chilling in there between the net and the window, and I'm like, I'm not opening that window. Or whenever I do open the window, I always like check the corners, I look through the window, I check to see like the tiny edges to make sure a wasp isn't just like chilling, or like a wasp or bee is just chilling there, because I don't want to accidentally let a wasp or bee into my room, or a hornet, because I also do not want to like try to swat at it. Since I have a lot of figurines out in the open, I don't want to accidentally knock down my figurines. I already broke 2 of them, which I'm sad about, and I don't want to break any more. So I will have to try and make sure no more random flyers get into the room. Fixable? Maybe fixable. Maybe I have to caulk the edges of the window a little bit. Use a little bit of caulk or whatever it's called. Oh, the models? No. It's not, sadly no. Sadly no. I also threw them away, I think a week ago, or like a week or 2 ago, when I was doing like a whole cleaning of my room. I'm like, yeah, I'm not fixing these. I've tried to fix it. It wouldn't fix. It was also, I'm so sad because the one that I broke was the Murasaki Shion from Hololive, and she's graduated now. So it's like one of the more rare figures now. And even then, like, anime figurines are like made to order, and once it's like fully shipped out, it's like done. There's no more in production. So you have to like buy it from resellers or scalpers. So I'm like, damn it. But we'll have to see. I'm also going to a convention next week, so I think this Wednesday, so I'm also gonna have to take another week off of streaming for that. I could have fixed it with resin. Yeah, maybe. I do know a friend who does have resin and 3D printing stuff, so I probably could have asked him. I tried using like Gorilla Glue or like the plastic model glue and stuff, but it didn't work. It didn't stay. It also broke on the foot joint because it was standing on one foot, and the peg, I think, got stuck when it snapped off. So I would have to probably remove the peg and then have a new peg for the foot. Or what I tried doing like a dumbass was just putting glue on the bottom of the foot and glue on the little peg stand or the little foot stand, and just trying to shove it together so it could keep standing, but it didn't work. So I'm like, damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. But it'll be what it'll be sometimes. You live and you learn. I do have a actual display case for the figurines now, and I should be putting that up sometime next month. Once I move my current desk out of my room, I'll be moving my current desk into my sister's old room since she moved out and is now living elsewhere. So once she's fully moved out, at the end of, or in the beginning of next month, I can move my old desk in there and finally put up my display cabinet for now. And then when I move out of the house, I'm gonna have to take all that down and re-put it back up. But you know what? That'll probably be a very long future thing. Potentially. Maybe. Maybe not. But, don't know. Don't know. Even just renting or buying a house in the States is just very expensive. Like, yeah. I was looking at, like, different houses or stuff. My uncle was like, yeah, when you get a new job, you could probably move. You can move to California and stuff. I'm like, California is not cheap. Because he's like, oh, yeah, you could just maybe rent an apartment or buy an apartment in California. We looked at the prices. The price of an apartment in California is the price of a decent house is the price of a decent house in the current state I live in. And I'm like, yeah. The price of the apartment he was looking at was like $600,000 US, and I'm like, no. And then, like, I don't know what he expected, because, like, I looked at some of the houses in different states and then saw the California ones. Like, those are always near the millions to buy the house and otherwise. So I'm like, yeah, even renting is going to be expensive there. It's like probably $3,000 to $4,000 probably a month for rent there. You'd get paid more, but again, you're still going to get shafted a lot more because the cost of living. It's like some guy moved from, I think, Florida to where I am now, and he's like, oh, I'm making so much more money now that I moved to your state. And it's like, yeah, but you do realize the cost of living in Florida and my current state is vastly different. And now that he's settled in, he's like, oh, I probably should have stayed in Florida, because he moved like 6-7 states away to where I am, and it's just expensive as hell. Especially the taxes hit like a truck, since state taxes are also varied from state to state. And he's just getting shafted from that. And I'm like, yeah, rest in peace, my guy. Rest in peace. Not much you can do about taxes and stuff, and you can't really avoid them. I'm just lucky when I did my tax refunds last year. I got well, when I filed my taxes last year, I got refunded money, and I didn't have to pay money. But that might change this year. I might be owing the government some money, but I at least like it when the government owes me money. That way I feel a wee bit more important and a little more safer that way. I don't need to worry about like a few $1,000s going missing to the taxes again. Yeah. Yeah, taxes are added to items auto in some places, but then for us, it's like, yeah, you usually find the tax out afterwards, and after you're shafted by the tax, then you find out and you're like, ah, taxes, my favorite thing in the whole entire world. And then when I was looking at like taxes for like, what do you call it? Self-employed people, because technically if I ever did start making money from streaming or YouTube or otherwise, I would technically be considered self-employed, and the tax rules is also different for self-employed, because if you're actually employed from an employer, the employer pays about half the taxes. So when you're fully self-employed, you get shafted by paying the full brunt of the taxes. So however much tax I'm currently paying is going to be doubled if I ever start making money off of like Twitch or YouTube, which won't be for a long time. So not something I need to worry about, but something I did look into. And then I asked like one of my coworkers who is quote unquote self-employed, because he runs his own martial arts dojo. So I'm like, yeah, how do you run your martial arts dojo? And he's like, yeah, I get shafted by taxes every year because it's like self-employed. So he has to pay like the building tax and the license tax for the actual, certificate to teach martial arts and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's just a lot of money going down. So yeah, it's also like Yeah, if you ever start making money in the States and you're like self-employed, never blow it all until you file your taxes at the end of the year. So you'd probably just have to like save all the money till the very next year before you actually spend it. Like spend what you need, but don't blow all of it on some random thing. We're like, oh, I got all this money. Let me go buy a new car. Let me go buy a new this. Let me go buy a new that. I can now buy a house. It's like, probably wait till you file your taxes to see how much you will be paying, or you will have to pay at the end of the year, before you actually start making big purchases, or else you're gonna be owing the government quite a lot of money, and you will have quite a little bit amount of money, depending on how you do that. We can make X amount before paying tax. I think there is like a minimum wage you need before you do start paying taxes, so it shouldn't be that bad. I think it's more than probably 50 or 60k, like through that revenue source before you actually start getting taxed. I'll have to double check that. I am not that savvy. I did not look into it that much, but probably like you have to make some decent amount of money before you start paying taxes. But it is also something to keep in mind, just in case, so you don't get shafted by it. Yeah, that should be good for Towa. For the hair. I've just been yapping a lot and I have not been fully doing the drawings of the hair, but you know what? It should be fine. It'll be fine. The line art layer, the line art for drawings always takes a little bit of time, a little bit of extra time. Try to get things right and nice. Yeah, this could be something like this. But yeah, let's see. But yeah, for taxes, it's just a lot, but you could also make a lot of money. Because I also know one of my friends knows someone who runs their own like Asian restaurant for what do you call it? Fujianese or Chinese food, and he makes a lot of money from having the business, but also has a lot of, you know, taxes and other stuff since he is the owner of the business and he has to actually pay all the taxes. But he does buy like a lot of his what do you call it, restaurants groceries and otherwise through credit card. And the good and bad thing about credit card is credit card debt, but if you have a decent credit card or a business credit card, in his case, you get some cash back. So he did get enough cash back to get a full paid trip to Japan, or he is using the money he got from cash back to book his own flight and hotel to Japan for like a week or two. And I'm like, damn. Very, very lucky to be able to do that. But again, that's also something that comes in time and lots of money, lots of savings. I do want to do a trip to Japan in the future, but the more I look at it, the more I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be way down in the line. I'm like, maybe next year, and I'm like, oh, my financials not the best. Probably the year after that, then. Probably won't be doing a trip to Japan or out of the States for at least another year or two when I save up more money. And then I can maybe do a Japan trip with some buddies. But who knows? Who knows? It is also fun exploring different places. I broke the internet. BRB. Okay. Good luck fixing the internet. I don't know how you would fix the internet too much. Usually it's just unplug and replug. At least for me. I don't know if I don't think I've ever messed with the modem of the Wi-Fi whenever I had to fix it. But I'm also not that tech savvy when it comes to doing stuff like that anyways. Let me find her braids. How do I want to draw her braids? Is there a decent tutorial? How to do braids. And quickly look that up. Braids. How to draw anime braids. I hope it's not a random AI tutorial, which is always annoying to see more and more AI art or stuff, or like reference images. Especially when I am trying to look for references on drawing like random stuff, or like just looking at poses, and I'm like, ooh, that's a decent pose, and then I look at it a bit more and I'm like, damn it, it's AI generated. And then I'm like, I at least want to have decent references that's not AI, so I don't accidentally do the wrong proportions or otherwise by following some random AI photo. And the more I look on Pinterest, the more it is filled with AI stuff, but at the very least, there is a setting to filter out the, what do you call it? Filter out the AI photos a little bit here and there. Some of them do still slip through the filters, but it's also not that bad. I broke coffee and I got milk. Okay, that's good. That's good, that's good. Well, a nice warm glass of milk or cold glass of milk? No, I haven't drank a glass of milk in so long. Cold? Okay. Okay. I also am slightly lactose, so if I did drink a nice glass of milk, I'm gonna be having a nice time sitting around for a little while. Let's see. Oh, what the heck was I talking about? Yeah, no. Besides that, oh, a bunch of random AI stuff. I know my parents watched way too many AI generated stuff or AI translated stuff. At least for me, I cannot stand listening to too much of the AI generated voices or dubs when it comes to shows, because they watch a lot of Chinese dramas or otherwise. Like, I think it's like YouTube Shorts, Chinese dramas also. I did some bare minimum research into it, because I'm like, some of the animations or graphics in the shorts they watch is not consistent at all. And it's like, from one scene there's only a few people, and the very next scene in the same setting there's like dozens of people just popped in out of nowhere. So I'm like, yeah, that was probably generated by AI with like some actual actors popping in and out. Because when I did do research on like a bunch of the Chinese dramas, there is a new industry for that, where they are making like short Chinese dramas with like the very cliche tropes of like the type of Mirim or Wuxia one reincarnated into modern day time, where it's like, oh yeah, it's a poor person somehow slowly becoming very rich and learning martial arts and being able to cultivate and stuff, and was a true master in his past life, and now he's using that experience to better his life and save the lives of so many people, and is now like the chief what do you call it, army general or something, or just from poor guy to a rich young master, but everyone still thinks he's poor or otherwise, or treats them wrong. And then the same old trope over and over again. And I'm like, yeah, why can we not just change things up just a little bit here and there when it comes to doing that? But oh well. How would I? Yeah, I am not drawing that braids properly. But yeah, no. With all the different AI stuff or the Chinese drama shorts, where they are just making the industry of that, I'm scrolling the YouTube shorts and YouTube live stuff comes up. Yeah, it is like sometimes seeing the weird YouTube lives or seeing a bunch of people doing weird stuff on YouTube. I personally haven't scrolled through like YouTube shorts in a long time, or TikTok or anything like that. I'm like, yeah. Or people doing nothing. Yeah, it's either that or they're doing like some weird clickbaity stuff, not clickbaity stuff, but weird like challenges to try to garner more viewers. Like, the weirder they do, the more people that will show up. And sometimes it's either, is it real people, is it bots, I don't know. And I'm just like, not my cup of tea, but it is there, it exists, it's something. Let's see what happens if I try to exaggerate the actual braids here. But yeah. I don't know. Always interesting to see though. Because loads of people, it ain't good for, yeah, it ain't good for YouTube because you would just get like spammed with a bunch of AI slop. And like, it's even worse since like, I sometimes see my mom watching either Christian Bible stuff or motivational speaking, and it's all just AI generated or AI read, and I'm like, I don't care if you watch like motivational stuff or like self-improvement stuff, because I watch a little bit of that once in a while, or like public speaking or otherwise, but at least find an actual person who's done it before, give you advice and talk to you about it, rather than a clearly AI generated video, voiceover, and script. Like, please, if you're trying to learn something like that, at least do some due diligence of looking for an actual person giving you actual lived advice on how they've learned how to do that. Like, yeah, videos with actual integrity rather than just some random slop. But I don't know. What am I to say? I'm just a random idiot. But yeah, it's just too much of that, or yeah, and just that or the AI dubbed stuff. Because I also tried explaining, well, my dad likes to listen to music made with AI and he can't tell them apart. Oh my. Yeah, it is getting a little harder to tell them apart. At least I try to differentiate between AI music and regular music. But a few times when I was looking at like Vocaloid music, I didn't check the description, and my friend's like, yeah, if you read the description, it would say like made with AI or made by AI, and I'm like, fuck, I got duped. And then I'm like, fuck, okay. So I also do sometimes get confused, and I also have to start reading the actual, you know, descriptions. Because I also want to try to support actual people and not just random AI creators. And my mom, I tried explaining that to my mom, and she's like, yeah, but the people who make things with AI still had to like learn how to do it and program the stuff. It's like, yes and no, because it's like, yeah, they programmed it, but it's also used by a shitload of other people. It's not the same thing. I tried explaining to her in the sense of like, if you had to take a very important test for college or uni or whatever the hell, and you spent months to a year studying it, learning it, and trying to understand everything for the exam, and then some random guy just sits next to you, looks over at your paper, and just copies down everything you do, changing a few of the answers or like changing the wording if it's written, and then handing it in, and then getting the same grade as you just by copying you and doing none of the work. Is that fair, or is that like something that should be happening? It's like, no, it's not something that should be happening. When you do that, and she's like, oh, but why don't people just sue them? It's like, also AI also has like very little regulations. I haven't looked into the regulations on AI recently, so I don't know how much you can actually like sue AI companies for like using your works or stuff when it comes to like drawings or videos or otherwise. I do know, like, when I was like scrolling through random news articles at work, because they usually pop up on like the home screen whenever you create a new tab, I saw, yeah, the stupid Twitch thing. I know about that. I was about to mention that, since at work I was just like creating a new tab and I saw it right there, like, Twitch has new AI policy which auto enables you into training Twitch's or Amazon's new AI through like your streams or your videos or whatever. I'm like, oh, let me just make sure to check that off. So I checked that off earlier today. So it shouldn't be using this for AI training. I don't know what it would be learning from me, but you know what? At least it's gone. At least it's not checked off. Like, using the data for something is its own thing, right? But you can't opt people into it automatically. That's like, yeah, it's just like auto opting people in. It's like, yeah, you could disable it, but we're just gonna auto-enable it for all the fools who don't know about it. They're just gonna get duped by it, and they're just gonna, you know, exactly have it enabled, because not a lot of people know about it unless they actually do some research or pay attention to the forums and stuff. So I'm like, that's just a very shitty thing to do without like fully letting people know, or like, you know, before you go live or have like a big notification on Twitch, like, hey, just so that you know, before you're going live, anything you do or say or post will be used to train our brand new AI. So please be careful with what you are posting. But no, it's just, hey, if you read the article or if you keep up with the updates, you'll know, but if you didn't, then sorry, sucks to suck. Your thing is now used to train our brand new AI. So yeah, I had to make sure I opted out for that. And seeing that way, I don't know if they will ever make something to do it both ways, to both monitor the streamer and the viewer's experience. Or like, what do you call it? If they ever have AI training to monitor viewers, or how you speak, or how you chat, or otherwise. But yeah, they probably already have something for like monitoring viewers and how you chat and how you interact with a streamer, to try to, whatever the heck, learn for their own AI bot. I speak, I'm gonna train a rubbish AI XD. Yeah. You speak, you type, you train a random AI, just start speaking random nonsense. It would also just be funny if you just like, everyone toggles it off and then like only a few people, yeah, fill the AI with emojis, or just be annoying. It will also be a funny bit of just having the, like, people who do have the AI toggle on use it purposely and just like speak a bunch of random brain rot terms, 6'7" skibbity toilet, Ohio Riz, and all those other random shit, and just say absolute random nonsense, so that when the AI is learning from your streams, it just learns a bunch of random bullshit, brain rot terms, or just speak gibberish the whole stream, and the AI will just like learn from you, quote unquote, but it won't actually learn anything, and it'll just be absolute dog shit, since it'll be learning from people just doing a bunch of random nonsense, basically. This is one way to do it, I guess. If that becomes a problem. I do know on X, I have a habit of saying Twitter, but it is now X. It's been a few years. I can't keep dead naming it as Twitter. Or I can, but eh. But on X and Twitter, I saw like a lot of people try to do different, yeah, X is still a dumb name, and I still say Twitter, but I'm like, is that like cringe nowadays, or is that like a little outdated to just keep dead naming it? I'm just gonna do what's more comfortable. I'll just keep calling it Twitter until I get nagged about that's not the way to say it. But I'll see on Twitter for like how people do like post their arts. I've seen like different ways on people trying to get away from what is happening on it, for like Twitter using people's art to train its AI and otherwise. So people have been trying to do like the posting their art in like 3 sections. So when you click on it, it lines it all up and merges it, which is cool to see and be able to split your artwork into 3 sections, but it's also a little bit tedious. I know one of the newer trends that I saw try to get away from the AI on Twitter is like posting like some parts of your drawing through like some weird transparency setting, where it will show like a little bit of the art, but then once you click it, it will show the full art, or if you like hold it or whatever, it will show the full art, which is cool. But then again, it also requires people to fully interact with your art before they could actually see it. And I don't know how well the engagement for that is, since also I don't really post on Twitter anyways. I mainly just look at other people's art through it. Yeah. It is interesting to see how people do try to get away from all of the nonsense that is the AI for all of that. Let's see. Jesus, how long has it been? An hour and I haven't even finished the hair. Ay, ay, ay. Let's see. The ear. No. Ear's decent enough. Ear's decent enough. I gotta keep going. I'm getting too much into the yapping, not enough into the drawing. But let's see. An hour and Ko-Fi still ain't loaded. What is Ko-Fi again? I've never actually used it. Is it music or is it actual Wi-Fi? Oh, Ko-Fi. Make money doing what you love or whatever the heck this is. Is that it? That's for sharing stuff? Ah, not that Ko-Fi. Let's see. Oh yeah, Ko-Fi. Okay, so yeah, that one. Okay. So yeah. You can sell stuff and post updates, etc. Ah, okay. Because yeah, I've heard about it floating around, but I've actually never looked into it and seen what to do with it. But yeah, is it almost like another separate own how do you say? Some like social media stuff where you could just like do post updates and sell stuff from what you're saying and what I saw? Make clay stuff now? Oh, that's cool, that's cool. So you went from drawing random Gundams to train magnets or stickers, and now you're doing clay. It is, but it's more not basic, but it has one focus and nothing else. Ah, okay, okay. That's cool though. There's no feed, etc. Ah. Then how do you find people? Is it through like their like other social medias or otherwise, and you have to like link it to your Ko-Fi? Or like there's no like full discoverability on Ko-Fi? Like you have to know of the person prior to find their account, or is it like through search or somewhat of an explore tab? Or if you like search like, oh, you want, for your example, like clay stuff. Oh wait, that's your feed? Nande. So there is a feed? I'll have to look into that later on, how it works. Oh, there is like a little blog thing for it. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So there is a blog in Ko-Fi that's almost like your feed. Interesting, interesting. Looking at it, oh, there's a lot of stuff. There's a gallery. There's also a shop for Ko-Fi. Interesting. Interesting. Oh no, I'm only looking at the Ko-Fi page. But yeah, that's also interesting. Okay. Let's see. But yeah, Sam, what type of clay stuff have you been making? Is it like pots? Not pots, just pottery, or are you still doing like random train merch or stuff? On how you're doing like the interconnected train magnets, where you could just like connect the trains. I feel like that shit is so weird. Let's upload the made a sword. Ooh, that's cool. Like life-size sword, like 5 feet or 4 feet, or just like small miniature swords and stuff like that. I know I used to have like a miniature metal sculpture with like a sword in it. You could just pull it in and out, but again, that's like a tiny little thing that was 2 feet tall or something. A short sword. Ah, that's cool. That's cool. Is it like usable or more of a decorative? I would assume it's more of a decorative type of sword. It's made out of clay. You wouldn't really want to use it for actual striking or otherwise. Deco? Yeah. Any cool, what do you call it? Garnishes? But with resin, but, okay. At least it'll have some durability to it. At least it'll still be pretty decent for that. What do we do with this chin? Something like this, I guess. Yeah, something like that. Use it for RP posing, for short. Ah. Wouldn't smack it into another sword? Yeah, I would feel like it would either shatter or crack. I know I did used to do some pottery or clay work back in high school, since they did have a class on it. And I did make quite a few things, like a small clay plate or a tiny box with swords coming out of it. I did like the most. I remember one of the projects for clay making was to make a box. So I tried to make let me open a different what do you call it? Open a different tab so that I don't have what do you call it? So it's not recorded in my time lapse. I tried making a box back in the day when I was doing clay work, where it was like the lids like that, but then you'd have like a dragon head here with a little horn and then two swords coming off of it, because I was the edgy freaking teenager back then. So I made a tiny little clay box that got melted like that. Was the tiny little box I made for clay. But it was also just like tiny, very dragon head. It wasn't like fully sculpted or anything. It was just like in the general shape of a dragon head. So it wasn't anything too specific or too grandeur. But it was still something. It was still something to look at. It was also fun to do, working with clay or otherwise. I do know, like in my current jobs, they do use a little bit of clay here and there, or some sort of putty to for their machines or otherwise. I forget what they actually use it for. I do remember just messing around with it and just making a bunch of weird tentacle objects and just putting it by their machine, and them always like, no, please, I don't want random tentacle objects next to my machine as I'm running it. I'm like, no, you get some random ball filled with tentacles just for you, to show that you are a true freak. Let's see, I can do the chin a little like this. But yeah, polymer clay, probably? I'll have to ask next week, see what it is and what it is actually used for. I do remember making like a cat head and just shoving it into one of my friends or coworkers' little locker, and it's just sitting there and chilling there. Yeah, let's do the neck like this. But yeah, it's always fun messing around with clay and just being able to mold it. It's like playing with Play-Doh, but on a professional level. Or on a more creative level, I would say. It's always just fun to play with little pudgy stuff like that. I guess that works for the neck. I think the neck would be a wee bit more straighter down. But yeah, let me try to make the neck a little more straighter down, like right here-ish. Like that, I think should do for the neck. Okay, something like that. Yeah, playing around with clay is fun. I do know, like, when I did have to do clay, there's like different ways to use it. Like, you'd have to bang it on the table quite a few times. There's like, get a lump of clay, bang it on the table to try to get rid of the air bubbles within the clay, and then try to shape it into whatever you want. Or else it would have like the tiny little air bubbles when you do go to cook it in the kiln or furnace, and then it would cause it to crack. Luckily, I think I was pretty good with it, that I've never really had a thing crack in the furnace or kiln. Though I actually, that is, yeah, no, never cracked, but I do remember not properly scoring the bottom of like the decals, since I made a plate with like tiny cat decals on it. I didn't properly score the bottom of the cat decals nor the little plate or dish. So when I did try to attach the cat decal onto the clay dish, and then when I went to go cook, it just popped right off. So it isn't fully on, but it, yeah, no, it's not fully on. Because I think that was the first time I did it, and the second time I did, I properly scored it, and then it actually stuck. So yeah, probably polymer clay, like the one you're using. But then again, that was like years ago. But yeah, it is annoying whenever the clay just doesn't properly stick or just pops right off, and it's like, man, we tried working so hard on that. So that also just made me like, okay, gotta make sure, score the actual thing to make sure it actually sticks and it doesn't accidentally just fall off. And then have to press it tight together so it's like nice and even, or otherwise. I don't know any other weird things that I've ever made with clay besides the box, the little plate. I did try to make a ninja star, but again, that was in high school, and I don't think they allowed me to cook a ninja star. It wasn't polymers because polymer sticks to itself pretty well. Yeah, probably not polymer. Maybe at the workplace that I am, they use some sort of polymer clay to keep things bonded a little bit. But yeah, probably more earthen clay or whatever the heck. I'm borrowing that idea. Yeah, it's cool. Just to yeet, yeah, just yeet at people. It'll be a little bit fun. Let's see. I did make wrong brush. I did make a ninja star in woodworking shop though, back in the day. And I would just chuck that at random people. I think I still have it. I made like a random wooden sword and a random ninja star that I would just like chuck at people during class. I do remember at work I had a like, yeah, working with wood is quite difficult, especially like when I was doing drill presses and I had to like, there was no clamps or fixtures to hold the block of wood. And when I had to hold like a tiny 2x2 block of wood and drill a hole into the center of it, I would have to hold that shit real tight and go very slow with the drill press, or else my hand would get sucked in and it would just like, you know, hit the drill, which did eventually happen because I wasn't holding the wood block tight enough. So when I did go to drill it, the block spun and my finger brushed against the drill, but I quickly turned it off and I did not get any scrapes or cuts, which I am very lucky and very grateful for. That nothing bad actually happened during woodworking class. I do know at my current workplace, there is a metal bandsaw to cut like steel, aluminum, titanium, and other stuff. But there are like some very thin honeycomb core stuff that needs to be cut, or like whenever there's like small blocks that do need to be cut, that's like composite, that's like made out of composites or otherwise, things get sucked into the bandsaw real fast. And my coworker does not like working with the bandsaw purely for that reason, because one of the engineers who works with us was trying to get him to bandsaw core material, or a material with honeycomb core, and he's like, yeah, that's not going to work because it's going to get sucked right into the bandsaw. And she did not believe him, so when he did try to go cut it, the bandsaw literally sucked the part into it and flung it against the wall right behind the machine, and his fingers almost got sucked into the bandsaw too. So not fun. And then the engineer was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to go and think about that all over again, because it's like, yeah, there's a reason why he told you it's not a good idea to bandsaw it, because it is very dangerous, and it's like a very thin piece of material too, and your fingers are like right next to the blade. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound fun. It's like one of those things where an engineer is like, has an idea of like, this is probably gonna be so good, I'm the smartest, I know this is gonna work, and then when it's actually put into practicality, it doesn't work at all, and it causes more harm, or, you know, raises potential more harm than any good, which in this case caused a lot of more potential harm than it did actual getting the results that she wanted. So that's another thing that comes to mind when using deadly machinery like that. You always got to be careful of and be wary of the tools you're using so you don't accidentally hurt yourself. And you have to respect the machines too, because if you don't, then you might be walking away with a lost finger or otherwise. Because like, I've heard stories of other people using bandsaws or hacksaws or whatever the heck, and they are now missing the top joints of a few fingers, either their thumb or index and ring fingers, and I'm like, Yeah, I'm gonna say no when I have to use those heavy machineries if I can. If it's needed, then I want to make sure there's a fixture. I want to make sure there's clamps. I want to make sure there is like a block I can use to push it, or at least a decent like grip. So if the part does get like, you know, grabbed by the machine, by the bandsaw or otherwise, my fingers don't also get grabbed into it. Because I don't want to, you know, lose a finger, especially when I want to draw and stuff. Maybe losing a finger or a joint on the left hand won't be too bad. But if it's on my right hand and my dominant hand, no, I do not want to risk losing any of that. Some machines have mechanisms to stop machines in those cases, yeah. Ah, my nose. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why my nose is very itchy today. It's usually not this itchy. What the hell? But yeah, some machines do have mechanisms to stop it. But I believe those, well, at least for all machines at my workplace, there is no stopping mechanism for like your fingers getting closer and otherwise. I do know like some hacksaws or table saws, whatever it's called, does have a mechanism where like if it senses moisture or like some sort of soft feeling, I think it's probably moisture settings like in the fingers or otherwise, it automatically retracts so that it doesn't cut you, or it doesn't cut you as badly as it could. But at least where I work, there is no machinery like that. So if you get sucked into the machine or otherwise, yeah, you're probably losing a finger, or at the very least, you might lose a finger. So I'm like, very dangerous, very, very dangerous. Or if they're like using the sander or grinder or whatever the heck other machines they do use, that's also just very, very dangerous and sketchy. Very, very sketchy and dangerous. But always be extremely safe and learn the protocols when you have to use heavy machinery or very sharp blades at the very least. That when you do use it, you don't accidentally lose a finger or a joint or otherwise. Let's see. Yeah, finish the hair. Okay. But yeah, I don't know if there's any other weird cases with machinery. Let's add this here and then that here. Let's see. Yeah, no, I haven't heard any weird stories for machines, like heavy machinist machines or otherwise, that my coworkers use currently. At least there have been a few random cases where the machine has ruined some of their parts, which is a little bit bad. At least no one was injured for those. Yeah. Don't know. At least the drawing's coming out decently. And out of the whole 2 hours of this current, I mean not 2 hours, just an hour and a half of this current stream, I've only gotten the head done. Oh, slow and steady. Slow and steady in this case. Slow and steady. Do I want to do the hair right now? I could do the hair later. I'll finish the ponytail later. I'll work on the body now. I'd rather work on the overall body first before I actually work on the coloring. It is, yeah, it is high quality over like the actual sketch of it, because this is pretty decent. I did do a little bit of shading on the body, but I do want to try to clean up the line art. But at least so far this drawing has taken what, 5 hours? So this is 5 hours into the drawing. I should also start timing how long it takes to do a drawing so I can actually fully understand the depths or the requirements when it does come to drawing. But then again, I could just look at my streams since this is all done on stream. You're like, okay, that stream took 2 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour, 2 hour, or however the heck. So I could find the total time it took to do a certain part of the body or the line art or stages of the drawing. At least that's a little bit convenient when it comes to doing that. Yeah, I think now I can do the clothing. I know I am missing a lot of stuff when it comes to her clothes, be it her straps, badges, or pouches. But I'm gonna take the lazy way out and not do that because it's too much work. I'm just gonna take care of the tiny stuff for now. But since I am doing her black outfit, I do have to take into account that the little straps here is a bit different. Can I link Ko-Fi? Your Ko-Fi? I don't know if you could link it in Twitch chat. I think I still have links blocked on Twitch chat. Probably just Discord it, or otherwise I could check it out later. But for now, I don't think I'll ever turn like links on for the Twitch at the very least, because I don't want random AI bots or otherwise to just come in and start posting random links, or like any random bots to post nefarious links. So I just want to just like keep it clean of random links, just to make sure none of that happens, so I don't need to run into that scenario. Let's see, but yeah, they are a bit annoying, but I am lucky that I haven't run into any AI bot stuff. You could either do it in probably DM. Could either do it in DM or just probably media, etc. Either or. I would say for the Discord server, general is mainly for just random chatting, and then media, etc. is just for whatever the heck you want. I think I also made the Discord server a wee bit more smaller in terms of like all the channels and stuff. I got rid of like the 20 different channels I had in the beginning. I mainly just hid them. I think I hid them. Too late sent DM? Yeah. Okay, I'll check that out probably later after stream and see what it's like. But yeah, I did try to get rid of a lot of the channels in the Discord server if people do start joining from these streams. I don't want to have like 50, or not 50, like 20 different like empty channels that people get overwhelmed by like all the emptiness, so that, you know, there's only 3 channels now that are visible. I hope 3, so that it's not too much of a wasteland of just not many posts, or just overwhelm people with all the channels. There's 6 including VC. Okay, yeah, that's a wee bit better now. Yeah, that's something I do have to take into account though. Let's see. But yeah, it was something that I also was thinking about and just like over scrutinizing when I was thinking about it. Where's her hoodie? That's hoodie. Oh, she has headphones. Man, I don't want to draw her headphones. So that too much to do. So very little time. Too much to do. I am gonna get bogged down by that. Who is Towa? Sam, you watch Hololive, right? You know what Hololive is, right? I know you know what Hololive is, at the very least. Or do you not know any like VTubers or stuff? I thought you did. Or I'm confusing you with someone else. I know, but I never watched. Ah, okay. So you know of Hololive, but you never actually watched Hololive. You don't watch VTubers? Bruh. Huh? Yeah. To each their own. People have their own likes and dislikes. I watch a lot of... Oh, you don't like big VTubers. But Towa is big. She is one of Hololive's Japanese branch VTubers. I think she is Gen 4. And She does a lot of like song covers and her own songs. So yeah, she's just a VTuber who does like a lot of songs and FPS games. I think she also does fighting games, so like Street Fighter and stuff. I believe recently I saw that she had a lot of like fighting game streams, especially like when she competes in tournaments or Apex. That's another thing that Towa is known for, is for her Apex streams, because she does also compete in a lot of tournaments regarding like Japanese Apex tournaments or otherwise. So yeah, she's also pretty good FPS or shooter gamer. But yeah, I mainly watch Towa for like her music and stuff. A lot of the VTubers or Live members I watch mainly purely for like their song covers or dance is what I mainly like to watch them for. Which is why one of my favorite Live members is Bei or Hajime, or Bales, Hakos Belzu, though people call her Bei for short. But I do like to watch them for like their songs, their original songs, or dances, since Bales also is a very good dancer. I'm like, man, I want to be able to dance like that one day. So yeah. Bales is the rat one that I don't think I've drawn her too much on stream. When you did watch, she's this rat one over here. I don't think I have an image of Bancho up or Hajime. But yeah. Belzu is the rat one. So yeah. But yeah. There's a lot of Hololive members out there. I think there's like 40, no, there's probably like 50 of them now. And I am relatively know all the JPID and EN ones. And there's also the Hollow Stars, which is the male versions. But the male ones don't really get as much love as the female ones, because the demographic is a little bit more skewed towards the female demographic. I mean, to the male demographic, so not a lot of people watch the male ones as the female versions for cover or Hololive. But yeah. Towa is pretty good for her music. I do like her song Palette or Facts. And then she did a very good cover of Error, which I do like, and I do want to try to learn how to sing Error, but it is a little bit too high pitched for me, or a little too energetic, since it is also more of a rock song. But I do like trying to sing rock songs because it is more fun to try to learn to do that. Yeah, I think I could get away with that triangle. It does look a little off, but yeah. But yeah, most times I do try to draw either Hololive member fan art, or like I did last time, which was the Fluorite art for Arknight's Enfield, which I have not finished at all, and then I should probably finish, but then I stopped doing it after I saw the proportions or the perspective of the body. I'm like, man, I'm not happy with the perspective or the proportions of that. And then I just got demoralized, and then I gave up on that drawing. And I'm like, man, I probably should finish that drawing because it did look pretty decent and it should be finished. But yeah, that'll probably be later down the line of things that I will have to do. Another thing that I want to try to do more of is like, there's a lot of different art challenges on Pixiv, I believe. Since Pixiv does host like a bunch of different art challenges that I do want to try to compete in, or not even compete in, just like do, so that I have like more motivations or more reasons to try to do drawings, besides like these random streams that I'm trying to do again. So yeah, we'll try to do like some random drawing challenges here and there as the years or as the days go by. These all for hobby. For the drawings, yeah, for hobby now, I do know I want to try to do like some random tutorial videos on how to draw or how to do like character designing or otherwise, but I'm nowhere near the skill level to competently give people advice on drawings or creating their own characters. I could give like surface level stuff, but not enough information on creating, you know, on full-on tutorials, since I am not as competent as I would like to be, nor am I as good at explaining it as I want to be. So once I do get a bit more experience, I do want to try to make random tutorial videos on how to draw so that people can get more into the hobby or into the art and skill of drawing, and to give more people a little motivation to try to pursue their own hobbies and interests, be it art, music, or otherwise. Yeah, I know you could also try to make monies through like commissions, doing art commissions and stuff, but I'm also not at the confident enough to do art commissions for people or to open up commissions, nor am I consistent enough to do like commissions where I don't want to accidentally like take on a commission and then be like, yeah, sorry, I can't finish a commission. I'm a lazy bum. So I don't want to accidentally like take on commissions and then drop commissions, or have them pay me and then refund them for not, you know, being able to finish the commission, or just come out with like a very shitty half-assed commission. Because I want to at least have some more competence and confidence in doing drawings before I actually try doing commissions or otherwise. I'll maybe do like random fan arts, or like listen to some requests here and there if it ever gets to it, for like if people want me to draw like certain VTubers or otherwise. I might consider doing that just for fun and for free, but I don't think I would ever do like full-on commissions for at least another year and a half. I'd want to at least confidently have at least 15 to 20 full drawings from like sketch, rendering, coloring, line art, and everything, before I actually try doing commissions and I get more comfortable with drawing, so that I maybe one day open commissions for either fan art or creating my own character or creating characters. But that'll also take a long time too, because there's a lot of difference between creating fan art and creating your own character, and then a lot of character design or, you know, thoughts and ideas come into creating your own character, or like figuring out what you want to add or not add when it comes to character creation. Let's see, I think this line could go here. That's, yeah. There's a lot of things I do want to get better at and improve upon before I actually take the next step to try to make money through art. But again, it's a little bit of a general lack of confidence and trying when it comes down to it, which is why I am also doing more of these random art streams again, to try to build the confidence and skills of drawing. And it's also a good way for me to force myself to actually sit down and draw. Otherwise, if I'm not doing a random art stream, I am reading one too many mangas or manhwas or watching too many YouTube videos. I think generally you can commission at any level, you just have to scale costs and expectations to it. Yeah, you mainly do just have to scale expectations and costs to it. And then you also have to learn how to, you know, what do you call it? How to advertise yourself. You have to also create a portfolio. I think I can make a half-decent portfolio when it comes to doing drawings. But then again, I haven't done a full drawing in a year. So I also don't want to use like drawings I did two years ago as my portfolio, because the consistency and the style is not there anymore. So I do want to, you know, get more comfortable with it. Then again, it also comes with setting the expectation of, yeah, if you commission me, you probably won't get your stuff for at least a month. But like, I guess a month is usual wait time sometimes when it comes to art commissions, depending on the difficulty of things or how busy people might be. Especially when it comes to like communicating between like the artist and the commissioner, where you have to like send them a few sketches and drafts of what they potentially want, and then like go through the designing phase of what they want, and like here's a few rough drafts of some ideas. Which ones do you like? And then you have to refine those ideas and then fix those up. And just keep like the communication between both the artist and commissioner so that there is a bit more of a no when it comes to doing things like that. What else do I need to add to her hoodie here? I believe I did that wrong a bit. Yeah, it probably varies person to person when it comes to doing that. And it's always something to think about, and something I always tend to overthink. I had a commission from someone on Fiverr, sent them ref and ideas, they just went with it. Sent occasional updates, communication goes along, yeah. Communication for those stuff does go a very long way, whether they know what you're doing and what to expect to a degree. I'd rather people take longer and have the art be better, yeah, rather than it just like be rushed and like try to be finished as fast as possible, where if they just took their time and make a good product instead of just like rushing out random or very poorly done art. Let's see, but yeah, let's do some for the clothing. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, if I do ever open commissions, it'll probably just be for fan art and then doing like portrait poses. I don't think I can do full body poses. I can draw full body poses, but it's gonna be very shitty. And I also can't do backgrounds. So if I ever do more, well, when I do more fan art and otherwise, there's gonna be like very little to no backgrounds, or it's gonna be like a solid color with a shape or some other random stuff for backgrounds. I do also have to practice doing backgrounds. Backgrounds, yeah, is expensive. Though I don't think, yeah, I don't think I'll ever do like full-on landscape drawings, but like having landscapes in the background of character drawings is something I do have to look into and practice, but for now, it's gonna be characters with pure white or gray background and nothing too fancy when it comes to that. Where is this reference? Okay. Oh, that's weird. Okay, yeah, I did not have that properly set. Okay. Full background was... Yeah, when I was checking, almost everyone did color background. Yeah, full background was often more cost than the figure drawing. Yeah. Because sometimes the backgrounds are a wee bit more detailed or more in depth. It also tells more of a story if you do the background, though. It also gives more of an effect to everything if you actually do a really detailed and complicated background. So it does add a bit more to it. It takes a lot more work. Since sometimes people just full focus on the character drawing aspect and ignore the background aspect to focus on like learning anatomy, clothing, hair, or otherwise. But sometimes people forget to study the backgrounds, which I am very guilty of. Just fully focusing on character and clothing studies and ignoring the backgrounds of things. So I do have to slowly get used to doing backgrounds, but for now, I'm just trying to get more comfortable doing these character drawings. Yeah, seeing how this is now is a little tricky, because I thought I saw in the white one, it's a pure like straight collar. Yeah, it is pure straight with a few bumps and edges, but then her colored collar with the blue and yellow has like that little different sections segmenting it. So yeah, that is something I'm gonna have to keep track of then. I'll also probably not draw the X's and use the X's in post when I do the coloring, so that it is a bit more, makes a bit more sense that way. Let's see, let's just do the bottom stripes first. Let's see, yeah, let's do these stripes here. I don't know if I want to... This is where having hair intersect with the clothes be a little tricky. So this one would come down something like this. Come down here, like that. And this would come down around here, like this. Okay. Yeah. No, don't know when it comes to doing the different ways for art. Yeah, mostly we want to get better at doing random fan art. But the other line could go there. Okay. Wait. Is my background... Okay, yeah, the background music is just looping. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Be good, and this should be here. I gotta make that equal amount of distance apart, don't I? Yeah, I do. Because of the perspective, it looks a wee bit weird. Nice. Oh yeah, there's a few games I want to try playing. I know Ananta is out now for like gacha gaming. I haven't touched gacha gaming in a while, or PC gacha gaming, or like Zenless Zone Zero, Genshin, or otherwise. But I have been doing a lot of mobile. Palworld, yeah. I forgot, like, Palworld is out of beta now. It's like fully released. I know some of my friends are like heavily playing Palworld, and they're like high levels, like 65 or so. I haven't touched Palworld at all. I just know of all the random shenanigans you could get up to in Palworld, and one of them is just breeding all the time. And then like hearing my friends talk about like, oh yeah, all they do in Palworld is just trying to breed the best pals. I'm like, that sounds like a lot of min-maxing and a lot of tedious work to do it, but it does seem cool for like the survival aspects and trying to catch all the pals and managing your own little factories. So I do potentially will get into playing Palworld with some friends later down the line. For now though, don't know. How long is the game? Also flamethrowers, yeah. I think since the game is fully out, it probably has like all the boss levels or the towers or whatever. I don't really know the full story of Palworld, nor is there, if there is any end game, or if it's just going to be like, just create your factories and just have fun managing them, or if there's like some sort of actual end goal, or if it's like Minecraft end goal of like, hey, there's a Ender Dragon, or like some big boss you can defeat, but once you defeat it, you can just continue playing however the heck you want and however the heck you like. Potentially. Seems decently long. I'm only low level. Okay. So yeah, that's also something to think about when it comes to like those types of games. What the actual end game is potentially. And if there is more content to be had after endgame, there probably will be more random updates to Palworld and otherwise to be interested in. Let's see, the yellow color goes all the way across. Okay, just make the yellow one go all the way over here, like this. Okay. See, yeah, I do want to try playing some other games. Besides Palworld, one of the newer games that I did try playing is Pragmata, which was pretty fun. I did only play the first chapter or story of it after the tutorial, and I haven't touched it in like a month now, so I do want to get back to playing Pragmata. And then a few other games. I know I have Persona and otherwise. I don't know if there's any other like newer games to try out, or if there's any cool games that are going to be released in the near future. or if I just want to buy into the hype of any new games at all. Clair Obscur is also a game that I have not finished yet. I did try playing a little bit of Clair Obscur, but then the dodge and blocking mechanics was a little bit tricky to me, so I have to relearn how to do all of that. I don't know why, like, Dark Souls or Elden Ring dodge mechanics is very easy and simple to me, but then when it comes to Clair Obscur's like dodge and blocking, my brain just shits itself and just like gets confused. I'm like, huh? How you use this? How to dodge properly? But yeah, I'll probably just have to get better at it and practice it a little bit more here and there when it comes to Clair Obscur's dodge mechanics. I think it's just the unfamiliarity, ignoring dodging and stuff. How you like the game though? Clair Obscur is pretty good. I do like the graphics and stuff. It is a very cool game, to say the very least. It's just how do I say? Difficult for me to do. I do like those types of games though, with like building teams and team compositions and otherwise, and trying to theory craft like the best trees or otherwise skills to invest in. And I do like the movement in Clair Obscur, which is pretty fun. And then since it's like slightly instance based, or I haven't played the game in like a year, so I'm just saying stuff that I think I remember. I don't know if I fully remember everything from the game when I did play it a year ago. I will have to get back into it. Not far at all. Not far at all. I think an hour or two. I believe the farthest I got to was after landing on the island, you get separated by the one girl, the main girl, and you find her again at one of the houses under the water. I believe is where I left off on, is when I found her in the house under the water. So not very far at all into the game. Yeah, I've seen like 1% of the game, so not exactly anything to write home about. Let's see. The story is really good though. I've heard the story is really good. I am one of those people who likes to enjoy the journey more so than the ending. So I did do a little bit of the spoiler route. I did look up the ending of the story, and I'm like, oh, very interesting ending. Very, very interesting ending, to say the least. I just don't know anything like from the beginning to the end. I just know how it starts and how it ends. And now I just have to slowly try to understand the in-between of the journey to the ending. But the ending for Clair Obscur is also very, very thought-provoking on which character you choose to like end the story with, if you side with the girl or you side with the guy. Depending on that, you get to choose the fate of the characters and the world of Clair Obscur. So yeah. And then yeah, I don't think they'll ever make a Clair Obscur 2, or maybe like a spin-off of Clair Obscur. It would be cool to see if they did make a spin-off of it though, and see like the story after Clair Obscur, if there is like a ending. Yeah, I doubt it. I think it's more of an open-ended ending where you just have to find out what happens, or just be happy with the ending that you chose and see what happens. Or not see what happens, but just think about it. Ruminate about it, but you'll never truly know which one's the true ending. Yeah, it's pretty contained. I don't think there's too much they can do with the ending, or else they'd have to like choose one or the other to be the official canon ending. Which, choosing the girl's ending is nice because everyone gets to quote unquote be happy, but it's also like is everyone happy, or does the character remember the other choice that could have been, and like him being able to be freed from the world? I don't, maybe fan games. There's probably gonna be like fan games or fan stories. There's probably already a few fan stories or fan games on like maybe Wattpad or otherwise, on spin-offs on like the ending or random character romances. I never really did look into stuff like that, but there's probably stuff like that out there for those who do want to look into the potential future of some of the characters. Let's see. I'll do this part here because I also forgot to include the little layer of the hoodie coming off of this too. Okay. Let's see, but yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just trying to be vague with the ending so I don't say spoilers, but I think it's just me and you here, and you, Sam, already know the ending. So I'll just talk a little bit of the spoilers when it comes to the ending of the game, since there's no one here to spoil the ending for. Yeah. Going with the girls ending, like, I forget the guy and girl's name. Who are the two characters you can choose between? Who are the characters you choose between at the end of Claire Obscure? Quickly Googling it. I think it's, Mael and Verso. So yeah, you either choose between Mael and Verso. And then I think Mael's choice is to keep living in the painting, while Verso's what the heck do you call it? Verso's route is to destroy the painting, basically. It's like, it would have been nice if there was a way to like find coexistence between the two, of like not destroying the painting, but also like escaping the painting, kind of. But it's either one extreme or the other extreme of you force everyone to live within the painting, or force Verso to keep repeating and looping in the painting, or you just destroy it entirely. And then I think everyone in the painting lives happily if you do choose the painting route, except for Verso, who wants, you know, his suffering to end, of like living the painting and to live in the real world. Or I think Verso is supposed to be I think the dead brother, who the whole family can't let go of, and everyone's like trapped in the painting. So yeah, I forgot the full lore of it, but I do think it is better for choosing the Verso's ending, so that everyone does escape the painting and learns or tries to heal from the grief of losing the family member, instead of doing that. He should be OP as fuck with all those loops. Yeah, he should be like really OP. I think he was OP like in the beginning, where like you land on the island and then he just kills everyone, or just kills like almost everyone as soon as you land, as he's just trying to put an end to everything. I don't know if that was like the truest way to put an end to his suffering, as in the little loops for the painting and stuff, if he was just like able to help someone reach the ending and destroy the paintress. But then again, the paintress is, I think, their mother. So it also does make sense that he doesn't want to kill her either. But it is a lot better to see that the loop is ended and the suffering moves on, or everyone moves on from their suffering rather than lingering in it. Let's see. Gotta erase some of this parts here. Yeah. And then Mael's ending is a bit more bratty, just to try to force everyone in the nice happy little painting. I think you could also see Verso's like expression in Mael's ending, and he's not exactly the most happiest of campers when it comes to that ending and having to be forced to live within the painting instead of moving on. Yeah, there's like the whole world outside of the painting in Expedition 33. That would maybe be fun to explore, but also not. I guess if they ever do make like a spin-off story of Clair Obscur, it would probably be of the overwide general world, since it does establish a world with people with different like powers and abilities, like with the Mael's family being able to create like life in paintings, so that you could probably spin off with maybe a prequel, or otherwise two future stories of a, you know, ability-filled world. So maybe that can be cool, but yeah, the current story is kind of closed and over with, and there's not really much you can do with it. But maybe future, like talk about other stuff. Yeah, you'd have to dig things up quite a little bit here and there. Unless, yeah. Oh, unless you're talking about like maybe a prequel story to tell about how the brother died and how they got to where they are. So I guess you could have like a prequel of like some sort of war with like a bunch of ability users or otherwise, and giving like the brother his own abilities other than the painting, or a different way to use the painting ability in actual combat or otherwise. Which again could be cool in and of itself, but again, it might just muddy the waters when it does come to the actual full storytelling of Obscure 33. Which, yeah, can make things a little bit worse for wear when it comes to doing that. Let's see. How do I want to draw her sleeves here? Carefully, that is. But carefully. Okay. This is going to be the start of her hoodie. Let me label that layer. Good. Man, here I thought I could probably finish the line art layer in like an hour or two, but I'm only done like the top part of her body in 2 hours. Ay, ay, ay. I thought I would be faster with this. Oh well, it takes time to get fast when it comes to doing line arts or drawing, and I won't really be as fast as I want to until I get more used to it and I do it more often. So I guess trying to finish this all within an hour was quite an overestimation on my abilities. But it's still fun just to do some small drawings here and there. This will probably be broken up into multiple long streams or short streams as I do all of this. And then probably the next time I stream will probably be Sunday night. I think I'll probably do a Sunday stream and then a Monday stream. Again, probably like for me, that's around 7 to 8 p.m. But for you, Sam, that's probably going to be like 1 a.m. in the morning again. Which I don't know why you're still asleep so late at night. But kudos to you being able to stay up that late. I don't think it's been a long while since I've like stayed up till like 3 a.m. or otherwise, or stayed up that long, unless I was like gaming or being distracted reading mangas and stuff. Or there was a few times I did stay up late drawing, but I have not done that in quite a while. 3 a.m. yeah, nice and quiet. It is nice and quiet late at nights, but it's also nice and quiet early in the morning. Well, technically it is early in the morning. Either different ways to look at it, because for me, I wake up around 4 a.m. around 4 a.m. for work. So 4 a.m. is nice and early in the morning, but for some people, 3 a.m. is also just very late at night, right before they go to sleep. So I guess it's a matter of perspective, how you want to look at if it's early or late. Yeah, 4 a.m. is really early. I do that because I spend like 30 minutes rolling around in bed, and then another 30 or so minutes to brush my teeth and shower. Sometimes I just linger in the shower or in the bathroom like, ugh, I don't want to go to work. So I usually give myself that little spiral time where I could just spiral or just think about random things and then get to work by like 6. I used to try to get to work by 5:30, but I've now like slowly started going to work at like 6 o'clock-ish. But yeah, waking up early is a pain. It's also like 10-hour days too, so like by the time I leave work, I would have been awake for 12 to 13 hours, and then I would have to go to sleep just as fast to wake up early and do it all over again. But yeah, it is what it is sometimes when it comes to doing that. Let's see, let's get these little straps down nicely. How would I do her other straps? Where is it? This one would also have something of the same thickness here for more of the blue stripes to go along. But yeah, I am trying to slowly change my morning routine so I'm not as ruminating too much on random stuff, and I'm actually trying to be slightly more productive in the mornings again, where like instead of spending 30 minutes rolling around in bed not wanting to crawl out, I try to like jump out of bed, go brush my teeth and shower, and just like spend like 20 to 30 minutes doing like random sketches or other stuff here and there to get like be somewhat productive in the morning instead of just like hopping directly onto the phone watching random YouTube videos or stuff. I do want to try and be better at not doom scrolling so early in the morning. And then I can change this to leave that straight there. Okay. But yeah, I do have to change my mornings to be a bit more productive and not be too lazy. Let's see. Yeah, that's good for the sleeves. So let's try and finish at least the jacket portion. This is where if I watch YouTube shorts, I like do exercises or stretches. Yeah, doing exercises or stretches while you watch YouTube shorts or otherwise is very good. I know I have my own stationary bike, so I tried doing a thing of where if I am watching YouTube or anime or anything, I would try to also bike, but that fell through because I got lazy. But I do have to bring that back again of like, if I am watching random YouTube videos or maybe if I'm reading some mangas or manhwas, I hop onto the stationary bike and I just start pedaling just to get some exercise in, to be a bit more active and get more of my cardio in or otherwise, or else I wouldn't be moving around too much that day. So I do have to start using the stationary bike again. Let's see. How else would the jacket go over here? But the stationary bike is very good because I am able to do like a 25k in under 50 minutes, but then I'm also highly devastated when I try jogging and walking, and I can only do like a 5k in an hour and a half. So my cardio from biking does not translate into walking or jogging. So I have to also practice my cardio for both biking and walking. Granted, I burn a lot more calories doing the biking, but it's also good for me to try to build the strength for walking and jogging, build more of the full-on body strength to hold the body up when I am doing walks or jogs, and I'm not like jogging for like 20 seconds and then panting like a dog and then walking for like another solid minute or two to try to catch my breath, and try to build my endurance for that a little bit more here and there. Let's see. Okay, that should be good. for the jacket. I at least want to get the upper body and the jacket done before I call it. This will probably be a bit of a longer stream again. Let me just make sure the jacket is on its own layer. Okay. And how do you properly do this portion here? You'd come down from the midpoints, which would probably be the strap here. I would probably lower this from the strap here instead, and then have it come down that way. Make it a bit more nicer. Yeah, something like that would do. I'll lower this down a little bit so I don't need to embellish the curve of the hoodie through the zipper or otherwise. So yeah, something like around here will do. So then I could erase this little point, not worry about where it meets up. Okay, that should do. But then the main issue will be the actual yellow strap and having it meet up somewhere. Okay, that's decent. I feel like this could be a bit more curved since this is two lines connected. It looks a little bit straight or wonky. And that should be there. And then I would have to curve that down here like that. Okay. And curve this down here a little bit like that. So yeah, that should do for the hoodie. This could also be just a little bit more curved, a little more exaggerated, like that. A little bit wider, I should say. Tired, go to bed? Yeah. Gotta do some good night rest, Sam. I'll see you when I see you next. But yeah, get some nice sleep, get some night's sleep. I'm probably gonna have to hit the sack soon too anyways. So I'm also getting a little bit tired. But yeah, I'll see you around, Sam. It was nice chatting with you. Thank you for coming. Peace soon. I'm gonna at least finish drawing the bra before I head out. We'll just keep drawing for a little bit longer. Let's see. Yeah, let's bring this here and this will come down. I don't know why. Oh my lord. My nose is so itchy now. I don't know if it's because I'm talking a lot and it's like I'm nasally when I speak. I'm guessing the vibrations of me speaking is causing the hairs on my nose to just touch, making it like itchy. But I don't know. I don't know why my nose is itchy when I stream. It's like never itchy, but when I start streaming or talking a lot, my nose just gets very itchy. So it might be something to do with me talking too much or otherwise. But yeah, I'll have to try to fix that so it's not too itchy and I'm not scratching my nose like every 5 minutes after talking. Yeah, that should be decent enough. And then I can do like maybe a little ridge for the shirt here like that. That could be decent enough for the shirt. And then you could exaggerate, you'd have to exaggerate the curve of the chest through shadows. So I don't think that's anything I should do with the line art right now. It would have to be something what do you call it? I exaggerate like before I do like the colorings. Have to figure out a solid what do you call it? A solid line for the shadows for that to accentuate the curve. Let's see. Come down. Oh, I did not mean to rotate that. It's still on the rotate tool. My bad. My bad. Bring this down just a little bit right here. Okay, yeah, that should be good. Then erase that tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. No, I should probably just do the 2 lines and then the connecting lines for the belts, but I know where they connect. There we go. Yeah, then this would connect like right around here somewhere, and then the body will come out from it like that. Okay, that should do. And that should do nicely. Then I can slightly erase this so it looks nicer. Nice. Nice. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom, bada ba ba ba. Okay. Let's see. That is pretty decent for the start of the line art. So yeah, I might... Yeah. This is probably going to be multiple different streams of just finishing the strong. Ay. This one is going to take me at least... probably 4 more hours to finish. Ay. Is strong. Such a big thing sometimes. Why do I hear banging? I'm home alone. Where the heck is that noise coming from? Probably highway construction again. Oopsies. Hopefully that doesn't come through the mic. Let's see. The shirt comes down a little bit that way and then has a little dip, a little curve. Like this. And then followed by another curve here. Okay, that should do. That should do nicely. Nicely-ish. The shirt also doesn't really come down that severely. It's a bit more of a like general curvature this way. Yeah, this way would be nicer. There we go. Oh yeah, trying to build build a character in Borderlands 4. It is a fun game, Borderlands 4, that I've played so far. I do know it had a rough start when it did first release, but now that I've been playing a little bit, it still bugs out a little bit actually. Borderlands 4. As much as I would like to say it's nice running smoothly, it still bugs out here and there with a little bit of lag whenever I'm doing multiplayer or otherwise. But besides that, Borderlands 4 has been a fun time. I am using the engineering girl. I was trying to use the siren of the season because I usually never play the siren in Borderlands. But since my friend is maining the siren, I decided to go for the engineering girl, so that I can try to build a crit-focused build, because I do like using snipers in Borderlands. It's either using snipers or using melee in those types of games, but since Rafa is a little bit weird with his melee, I've just been using the engineering girl. I forget her name when it comes to Borderlands. Some of the characters I forget. See, I do know in like Borderlands 2 I was using like Zero for his sniping and melee capabilities. It is always fun just running in the middle of a gunfight and just knifing people or just slashing people down instead of just running and gunning. Or I just like set up a post somewhere and just start sniping people. But it is good to differentiate with your playstyles here and there. See what else needs to be added, at least for the chest area. The top belt there, and then the little buckle for the belt over there. I don't need to add like the shadows or the lines for the top, because that's more of a shading thing rather than a line art thing. Same thing for the white lines on the jacket. That will mainly be a coloring issue rather than a line art issue. Let's see. I also have to add the yellow straps and everything else. I could ignore everything on the upper and just work on the body. But we'll see. Though, I think I'm going to call it here though. I'll finish more so Sunday night. I'll continue streaming sometime Sunday, 7 p.m. probably. 7 p.m. EST. But for anyone who has come in, joined, chatted, or is lurking, I hope you all have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, or night. I will be seeing you guys when I see you. Hope you have a nice time. But yeah, I'm gonna call it here for now. Continue more drawings Sunday, maybe Monday, but yeah. Yosha, boy, enjoy the nighttime. Peace. Yosha.